Welcome back, everybody. I'm Phil. That's Sam.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Today, we're coming to the Byrds on the channel for the first time.
And I was just saying to Phil that there's so many animal bands or groups from the 60s. It's crazy.
There's animal bands. There's like little animals playing instruments.
No, bands named after animals. The turtles, the monkeys.
Yeah, that's right. So the Byrds are now going to be a part of that. Like you said, the 60s seemed like the decade of the group names were referencing a crew of animals. I don't know, how that all started, but you missed the biggest one in the Beatles.
Oh, yes.
Although I don't think that's supposed to be a
it's
beetle.
not spelled like Beatles, so.
No, it's not that kind of beetle, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to what we're doing here. Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds. And this is something that came out in 1965, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They released it as a single first, and then it came out in December. October 1st was the single. December 1st was the album release, 1965. And you are ready to say something.
I was going to say, fun fact, it took 78 takes to get the final version of
the
this
album. Yeah. So they were in the studio producing this one for a while. Yeah. Clearly they wanted it to come out the way they were, imagining it. And how are we arriving at this one, Sam?
It is a special request from Mark. So thank you so much, Mark, for supporting the channel again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Mark dropped a bomb on us with a bunch of sponsored videos all at one time that he was hoping we would do. So thank you so much, Mark. We'll slow drip those for you and ensure that you've got something to look forward to. But we really do appreciate that support from Mark and from every single
all you guys,
every single person that comes through and hits that like button and comments and views our videos. It is insane how much our channel has grown. But you guys love hanging out with us to check out new stuff. Well, it's new for us. It's not new for a lot of you guys.
Also, 1965 isn't really new, but
Yeah. And I think this group, I'm not sure of the members. I think there was some rotation in there in terms of, who was in the group at what time. And they were big in the 60s and the 70s, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that they started in, I think, early 1960s in Los Angeles and were popular through the 60s. I'm not sure how far into the 70s, though.
Well, I was expecting you would know everything, Samantha.
Music encyclopedia.
Here's where you guys come in, though, and you give us insights down below.
Yeah, that's your guys' job, to educate us in those comments.
We do know, however, one group member was David Crosby, who we have done on the channel from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young.
Yes.
They're great. We should get back to them at some point. But anyways, we've been chatting for way too long, and we are delaying checking out the Byrds much longer than we should. The other thing we should mention is this has some biblical references as well as a part of the song from what we understand, and the original actually came out in 1950. So, you ready, Sam?
I am. Let's do it.
Let's go.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To
right, we're going to pause here. We'll back it up a little bit and then continue on. Sam, what are your thoughts on Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds thus far?
It's interesting. I at first didn't really know what to expect while we were reading a little bit of information in the beginning. We were reading that they were really part of pioneering the folk rock sound. And it does sound very folkish to me. Like it has this almost like kind of underlying twangy kind of sound with the guitars, which I feel like makes it sound more folk. But there is still that kind of like guitar, like the I don't want to say heavier, but like the rock sound to it. But I'm really liking the harmonies in this as well.
Yeah, it's very unique composition, unique mix. I also, you had made mention of the folk sound. We also read that they had an influence, or seemingly were influenced somewhat by the Beatles to a degree.
Yep.
I don't know like how that would have transpired, because I don't think the Beatles had been out that long when this had came out. But anyways, that's what we're reading. I can hear that influence for sure in those harmonies that you're referencing.
Yep.
I really love the build as well, through the drums and the, popping coming to life in the chorus section. It does sound familiar to me as well. I don't know where I know this from, or I shouldn't say I know it, but I recognize the turn, turn, turn portion. I don't know if it's I want to say a TV show, like an intro to a TV show or something like that. Anyways, it's great. I really, really am enjoying this. I love the lyrics, obviously.
Yeah.
Really beautifully put together, and showing that two sides of the coin.
Yeah,
that
there's
sometimes
a time for everything.
Yeah, there's a time for everything, and sometimes one situation can be approached differently. But it's important that you kind of gauge the temperature of the room related to that situation, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I think, obviously in the 60s, times were changing, and there was a big counterculture movement starting, and it seems like that's related to the messaging in this song that we need. I don't know, it's very conscious. That's the way I would summarize it.
Yeah.
It's a very conscious message.
Well, I think it also sends the message too that even though there are some of these sides to the coin, right, we're talking about both sides of the coin, some of them are more perceived more negative. There's a purpose for everything, right? So it says like there's a purpose for, yes, we want peace, but there is sometimes a purpose for war. Or like, yes, we want to love everybody, but sometimes there is a purpose to, like, you're going to be mad at somebody, or I don't really like to use the word hate, but you know what I mean, right? Like it's not just for no reason.
Yeah, no, I think it's, not looking at the situation through the same lens, right? And I wish we had more of that today, to be honest, because, so often I feel like people are just biased to, just looking at a situation and being like, this has to be the way it is. It's black and white, right? And there's a lot of gray in life. And I think that's what this is highlighting in a beautiful way with those lyrics.
100%.
So let's get back to it, and then we'll wrap up with closing thoughts.
Time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late.
And obviously, it's interesting as well that we made mention that it has the biblical references, and we, said there's a lot of purpose to the message in the song. And, I think that goes hand in hand as well with the idea sometimes that gets overlooked with spirituality, I think, as a whole, that it gives a lot of purpose to people, a great grander meaning than just trying to make money or, the materialistic approach to life. There's more beyond that. I think this is kind of a cool picture right here. It's like the universe, right? Or the galaxy, and it's in, somebody's hands, at a child's hands, it looks like even. It's just, kind of highlighting how precious life is. And at the same time, there's so much more to life than what's right in front of you.
Yep.
And to not take the small, simple things, can seem small and simple, but they're not at the same time. So I really, really love this one. Really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool too. And I thought, like, as it went on, I really enjoyed the, like, flow. I almost felt like it's relaxing, but not relaxing at the same time. Like, I almost felt like the flow of it almost just kind of had me, like, floating along. Like, I feel like not the song itself, but like the folk kind of sound of it reminded me a little bit of John Denver. I don't know why. It just kind of like this idea of you could just like be hanging out in the backyard, relaxing, like in the summer, and like just hanging out and listening to this.
Yeah, it is interesting when you say that too, because the thing with John Denver, a lot of the songs that we've done anyways have been very positive messaging. And so it makes you feel like light and fluffy.
Yes. And like nature references and stuff like that.
Exactly. But this, I would say, is a little heavier in its messaging.
Yeah.
That it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and there are, other sides to the equation. So it's interesting that it made you feel that way. I could get that from the sound of it for sure. It does have a warm, uplifting sound, I think, from the guitars in particular. So I could totally see why. Yeah. And you guys can let us know if there's anything else from the Byrds down below that we should check out. In the comment section, we check those comments out, and we tend to get some direction from them. So
thanks,
drop a
guys.
comment, and if you agree with somebody's comment, make sure you hit that thumbs up button on theirs, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button on ours as well. Make sure you drop it down low, hit that button. It helps this video reach more people. Make sure you drop a thank you down below to Mark for getting us to check out the Byrds for the first time. And if you are thinking that you want to subscribe, well, you should probably do that right now as well. Other than that, Sam, what do they got to do?
Make sure you have a great day.
We'll see you on the next one.